they connect Venus with relationships. They say it's the relationship planet. Again, it's not exactly that way, because the point with Venus is not to come into a relationship for the sake of it and at any cost, or to learn to do that at any cost, but to find out who you are through relationships. It's kind of self-definition through relationship. So we need other people in order to realize where our strengths are and what is it that we can give them. They're again acting as mirrors to us. The goddess Aphrodite is usually portrayed as somebody, naked, but with a mirror, always holding a hand mirror. That's the usual thing, and that's symbology. Everything is symbology about needing to mingle with other things, with different things, people with different energies as well, in order to come back to our own essential nature. And with men and women, it works slightly differently, even though in the base of it is the same thing. Men don't always relate well with the feminine part of them. They look for it in women. They look to see who actually embodies that image of the Venus they are born with. And they tend to connect with women who are, the sun sign or the moon sign or ascendant, or a lot of things in the chart of that woman corresponds to the sign of this man's Venus. And he's kind of projecting the image of the woman to a woman. But that's something that's meant to be part of his own character, also, his own nature. He's not only supposed to be somebody that goes out and does things in the world, but also a reflective quality, like every human being needs to have this reflective quality. So men also are not taught how to do this, like we are not taught how to do this, but they would identify their idea about who is beautiful, who is attractive, who is desirable, based on this sign of the Venus. And then they would go and take it, act out, or court the woman, or approach her in a way that's through the Mars sign. So there is always this mixture between Mars and Venus. It becomes very complicated when they're born with Mars and Venus in very different signs and different energies, because in that case the guy passes on one message of what he wants or how he is trying to get there, but underneath he wants something else. Venus is always hidden. We have to dig it into ourselves, find it in ourselves. But then when we find it, we need to be able to state it, to state it at least to ourselves. Yes, I know what I want. Lots of relationships are based on moon signs again, and or other things, ascendants, as we saw last week, which are okay. I'll get this which makes me feel good, or I will try to attract that thing which makes me feel good at the moment, for the moment, and just soothe my anxiety. There are many energies in other people that just soothe our anxiety. But when somebody touches our Venus, that's something which is really working. That's something which is really touching the core of what we are about in this life. Our core values, they say, our real personality. Well, it's very difficult to pick on one planet and say that planet is your real personality. It is, as you saw, a very complicated mix of everything. But Venus is a very big player here about how other things would then be channeled into their own roles. Whether the brain is going to work well, we only need our brain to solve something, to solve a task or to do a job, when we know what really is it that we're trying to achieve with that job, and how this is then going to be integrated in our whole process, in our whole life. Venus in its Libra side is about harmony and beauty and forms, and combining different things, combining different objects, colors, textures, stuff, which are when they're just lying there, they don't form anything beautiful or harmonious or functional. The thing in us, which is called Venus, is the thing that gets these things together and orders them in a way so that it achieves harmony or beauty or aesthetics or something like that. So artistically, that's a very, very strong planet for people in the arts and crafts and all sorts of crafts, including music, design, interior design, clothes design, where you need to combine elements based on your own idea. So you have an idea, you use your imagination, it's a function of imagination, which can then be transformed into something new. And in its Taurus side is all the stuff related to self-care, the body, the senses, because Taurus is very sensual, very earthly, like you have a sun in Taurus. When Taurus is strong, is an ascendant or sun or something like that, we want to make things work. We want to take pleasure, sensual pleasure, because it's also about the body. And it's the other side of Venus, the senses and having a good time, eating food which we find tasty, we like, or putting something on our body which will make us feel better. Not only more beautiful, the Libra side, but more comfortable, more pleasurable. That's the Taurus side. So working with essential oils and cosmetics and all sorts of things like that is also in the realm of Venus. Many people who have strong Venuses work in either the arts or these professions, which are beautification or ordering, interior design, stuff like that. Yeah. And magnetism and attraction is more relationships now, about the relationship part of it. It's the way we decide to present ourselves as women is the key to who we are going to attract. There is something there which passes on a message, and if we disregard it, there is a missing link. We go out there without preparation, almost like you haven't dressed for the occasion kind of thing. And you're trying to achieve a certain result, but it doesn't work because your Venus is not in action. It hasn't taken the time to decide how to. There is no right way. There is no specific way to dress or impress. They're very personal, these things. And they become personal through the perspective of the signs. Studying what Venus in Aries will give you some guides. You already would know inside how to, but you just need to make the effort to shape it, to polish it a little bit. Venus wants to make things perfect, to make them, it gets awful when it wants to make them too perfect, because then we start speaking of vanity. Vanity is a Venusian thing as well, of doing too much. Overdoing your Venus is getting obsessed with looks and with preparation and stuff like that. And then you actually don't have a real sense value in this case. You're trying to compensate for it. Many women do that. That's how it looks artificial a bit. Like, yes, she's done all the right things on the surface, but you feel like something is missing because inside she doesn't feel secure. When it's coming from inside, then the other part is much easier to sort out, it seems.